Hi, this is Andrea Dodson with Andrea Dodson Properties here in Lotus, California, right in between Sacramento and Tahoe in the foothills. Question we're going to talk about today is how much does it cost to buy a home? Aside from the purchase price, of course, there are costs associated with buying a home. You're going to need your down payment. So down payment aside, your average closing costs for buying a home are about 3 to 5%. So your closing costs entail basically title and escrow fees. There's going to be lender fees in there. You're going to be getting a mortgage. There's some processing lender fees. There are things like prorated taxes, funding an impound account, which is where your property taxes and insurance goes for the lender to pay on an annual basis. So that's a big chunk, is when you're basically paying for a full year of insurance up front, and on top of that another couple months to help fund that impound account. And then your property taxes, you're usually having to give several months of property taxes up front to fund that account, depending on what month it is when you're closing on the house. Aside from the closing costs that you're going to pay at the closing table, there are some costs associated to the buyer. Usually inspection fees are buyer's responsibility if they want to do any kind of inspections on the home. Sometimes some homes already have inspections that a seller has already completed, but it's always good for a buyer to do their own inspections. So if the buyer does choose to do their own inspections, that is a cost that they will have to pay out of pocket. And appraisal is also another thing that is an out-of-pocket expense that a buyer is going to have to pay for. So those are some examples of some buyer closing costs. Usually range 3 to 5% of the purchase price of the property. So hopefully that's helpful, and thank you for listening, and I look forward to giving you more information.